live. Are we live? We'll have to see. We'll have to see if the chat's working and everything. Let me click on that over there. I think we're live, and we're starting just about on time today. So that is fantastic. Let's put something in the chat. Hey, ask if I could spell while talking, your 3D printing and drone questions. All right, super. That's coming up. All right, so welcome everybody. Welcome back to RC with Adam. We're live. My name is Timothy. Just kidding. It's Adam. And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And basically what we do is we just do like an hour of Q&A, and I make myself available to help. If you've got questions, maybe you're a beginner and you're getting into RC aircraft, FPV drones, 3D printing, that sort of super awesome stuff like that. And maybe you're having a great time, or maybe you're like, oh, why isn't this working? And you need some live, like kind of one-on-one feedback help. Hopefully I can do that for you today, or people in the chat as well. Usually people in these kinds of, these two different communities, or three, or however many you want to call them, they're pretty helpful. They want it, they want you to have as much fun as they're having in those areas of 3D printing and drones and stuff. So you might get help from your fellow viewer. We'll see if anything's going on over on Facebook. It says one viewer, but I think it always says that. I think I'm the viewer or something. Just typing in the Facebook side of the chat. Welcome everybody. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of hang out. Basically, I'm just going to be here. So if you have questions or you want to discuss some stuff about drones and 3D printing, let me know. Leave a comment, and we're going to do that. Otherwise, we're basically going to talk about stuff, and this turns into like a podcast show where I just say stuff and show things, I guess. So let's jump over to there we go, the desktop cam. I was just going to play this video. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about water, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before that, whatever. This week, waterproof FPV drones and stuff like that. And so I just thought we'll probably go through some of my videos and stuff, because that's fun to reminisce and look through past videos and stuff like that. And other topics as well. In fact, I think we left off on something else. But I do want to, we're just going to kind of hang out for a little bit here, and then you can kind of watch this video. I don't know. It's a thing I'm trying out. This is all just a big experiment. So that's what we're doing today. What are you doing today? How's it going? How's it going? We're a little early today. Usually we're doing like 12 to 1. That seems to work pretty well, but I don't know. I'm not sure how many people are actually like available at this time. My thought was like it would be on people's lunch break, maybe, and then they can like hop in, get some questions answered, stuff like that. But we'll just kind of see how it goes, especially with the holiday season upon us. Schedules change and all kinds of stuff like that. My microphone working? Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Okay, I think it's working. Fantastic. Yeah, so we talked about waterproofing FPV drones and stuff like that, and how it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. That's one of those projects that I've done stuff with, and I want to do more stuff with, but it also kind of gets like really involved. Could get very involved and kind of messy, because you're working with like water and trying to waterproof stuff and things like that. Let's see what we got over here. Welcome, everybody. Looks like we got a couple people, 3 people, maybe. I'm not sure if you're still with us, but over on the Instagram side, thanks for joining us. And on the YouTube side, dead quiet, super quiet. That's okay. It is a Thursday, I guess. Not I guess. It is a Thursday for sure. On the Facebook side, welcome. I think we maybe had or have another viewer, so welcome on the Facebook side of things. If you're just joining us, I'm just going to be here, and feel free to ask your 3D printing and drone RC FPV questions in the chat to get some live feedback and help. Oh, you know what? I just remembered something. I just remembered that I had some questions. No, I'll leave that playing. That's right. I had some questions. I had a question or a comment or something like that. Let me see if I can I pull this up here? Will this work? Let me do open tab. There we go. What? Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So, all right. So I'm just pulling questions from my comments on my videos and stuff, which I should actually probably just answer those questions in the comment format, but we'll see how that goes. I'm a busy man. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm a one-man show today. So, what we're going to do is go to. All right, I gotta stop playing this video because it's actually like distracting me, like having this video going on. Oh my gosh. All right. So the question is, can you? The question. Here we go. We got a question from John Hanley 9946. Okay. The question is, can you flash Betaflight using the SpeedyBee app? That's a great question. And to be honest, I don't remember the answer. So that's the short answer. The longer answer is let's find out together, because that's what we like to do here. I like to help you guys learn how to figure out and solve your problems yourselves. So basically putting myself out of a job, I guess. But that's how you grow your skills and stuff like that. So let's jump over to our screen here, and let's pull up a new tab window, and let's search for well, let's just look up SpeedyBee app. Yeah. So let's go to the source, which is SpeedyBee.com. And yes, the SpeedyBee app is fantastic. It's so much better that, like, it used to be that you have to have like a whole computer or like a laptop to and take it out with you, when you go flying, to be able to access the firmware and change the settings on your drone or on the flight controller on your drone. You no longer have to do that. And it looks like if you have a Bluetooth a flight controller that can use Bluetooth, you don't even need cables, which is crazy and potentially a security risk somehow. I don't know. Wireless stuff it's kind of like magic. So I don't understand it super well, to be honest with you. So it works with multiple configurators. So the SpeedyBee app is a way to access and interact with those different uh, firmware configurators. And then then we have, let's see, flight controller firmware flasher. So support multiple firmwares flashing and multiple flight controller control firmwares downloading. Flight controllers that do not integrate the SpeedyBee chip, you can use the adapter 2, adapter 3 to flash. SpeedyBee F7V2 flight controller has that integrated Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chip and can be directly flashed. All right, that was a mouthful, but basically what they're saying is, if you don't have, I guess, the SpeedyBee chip or like a SpeedyBee flight controller, I guess, then you will need to use the adapter, which is kind of lame, to be honest. Um, I'm trying to think, why is that? Is it because of Bluetooth? I'm pretty sure the whole thing with the adapter was that it's like a Bluetooth, like wireless connection. But why would it need to be wireless? I don't know. There's got to be some kind of technical wizardry answer there. But I think that's the answer to you, which is unless you have the SpeedyB F7 V2 flight controller, which has the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chip, or you have to have that, or use the adapter. They call it, like, the product is called Adapter 3. Very unique name right there. To be able to actually flash flight controller firmware. So there you go. That's the answer. And somehow I'll get you that answer because I doubt you're watching this live stream. But if you are, welcome. We're so glad to have you with us. Camera firmware flasher. Wow, man. Cameras. Whoa. But yeah, the beta flight. I mean, the SpeedyB app is great. Patrick over on YouTube says, hi, Patrick. Welcome to this live stream. If you're just joining us, we're just hanging out for the next hour or so, and I'm going to be answering questions that you have about 3D printing and drones, RC stuff, things like that. So if you are new to that, now's a great opportunity to get some live, pretty much one-on-one feedback or help with that. So if you have questions, leave them in the chat, and preferably give as much information as you can if you're trying to troubleshoot something. I'm trying to figure out the best way of conveying information when troubleshooting, but basically it's most important to give, like, sort of like the problem and then the specifics around the problem, but then it's also helpful to know the context of, like, what's the model and what's the brand and what are, like, other factors around it. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if you were like, my drone doesn't do anything when I flip the switch, it's like, okay, well, what switch, what drone, what's it supposed to do? What is it doing? What's it not doing? A lot of times when people say it's not doing anything, it is actually doing something. In a sense, the something that it's doing is nothing. But a lot of times it's like you flip a switch and nothing happens, or quote unquote nothing happens, but what that means is it doesn't do what I'm expecting it to do, and instead it sits there and, like, makes a little light blink, and that little light blinking could be, like, really helpful. So Orchard Grover over on YouTube has a question. So ding ding ding, sound the question alarm. We have a question, folks. Question is a Creality K1C a good beginner printer? Well, Orchard, let's find out together. Short answer, I don't know, because I'm not familiar with that one. Longer answer, let's check it out together. Let's see, we're still up on there, right? Yeah, okay, cool. For my Instagram and vertical viewers, hopefully you can see the screen pretty well. I know it's not everything is optimized to go both, like, widescreen and vertical, but that's what we're doing here. Let's check out Creality 3D printing. Let's go to Creality website. So let me read this question again, because I tend to kind of, like, skip over questions and get excited and answer things that aren't the question. Is a Creality K1C a good beginner printer? So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the K1C. That's a HI. Oh man, so many names. It's alphabet soup, man. Oh wow, lots of 3D scanners. Whoa. It's crazy when you don't pay attention to, like, the cutting edge of stuff for like 6 months or so. Everything is like, wow, it's crazy, all the stuff that comes out. So, let's go to more products, because they're obviously really trying to push those ones. Because the question was the K1. I see the K1 Max, K1 SE. Oh, there's the K1C. There we go. K1C. See, what I love is when manufacturers, especially if they're making a whole bunch of things that are very similar, make it really easy to understand what is the difference. Like, why would I choose this one over that one? Because a lot of times you end up just having this barrier to entry where your customer is just frustrated because they have to wade through all this stuff just to get to, like, deciding, should I get this one versus like another brand or something. All right, so the question is Creality K1C a good beginner printer? Well, let's see here. Suitable for carbon fiber 3D printing. Quick swap tri-metal nozzle, 600 millimeters max printing speed, which like, by the way, on the, well, no, I'm not going to get distracted. Sorry. We're trying to go through here to answer this question. Is it a good one? We do have AI, observant AI camera. Isn't that how most cameras are these days? Clog-free extruder unit or kit or whatever. Okay, so there's like a multi-filament system. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, so the question is it a good beginner printer? Well, the question really is, what is your beginner budget? Because that is really usually what people are looking for is as in a beginner printer. 389. This is probably the page I should have actually gone to. Looks like it's $389 is what we're showing here. Trying to make, oh, that's not helping. Let's see. Trying to get the website page to show up like properly and not cut anything off. Anyway. So all right, so you have an enclosure. That's cool. What's the bed size? Did it say what the bed size was? Tell me what the bed size is. Are they like not gonna tell me or something? That's maybe it's right in front of my face, but well, it's on back order right now anyway, so you're not gonna get it in time for Christmas. Hmm. Okay, so if anybody can tell me what size this is, like, am I missing this? I can scroll down more. Oh, they did that little thing where you have to like scroll to make the picture move and blah blah blah. Okay, so I'm guessing it's a like a 250 millimeter bed size because that's kind of the standard. There's not really a standard, I suppose, but common. Orchard says that's about the upper range of my budget. Yeah, so that's basically what we're talking about is like, is that a good one for that budget range? Um, Probably, but I have not, I'm just looking at the product page. I haven't done any like research on this. Man, we have to just scroll. Okay, there we go. Parameter. Oh. All right, the build volume is 220 by 220 by 250, so that's going to be the build, well, the build volume, but the plate size is going to be 220 by 220, which is a little bit on the small side. I think, yeah, that's a little bit on the small side, but you're going to get auto leveling, color touchscreen, power loss recovery. I mean, no, it even has an air filter, and that's cool. Flexible build plate, enclosed frame, blah blah blah. How easy is it to perform maintenance? Types of compatible. All blah, 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 blah. PLA, ABS, PETG. No experience is required. Comes pre-assembled, calibrated, and equipped with a guided setup interface. How large of a model can I print? Right. Yeah. Okay. So, um, yeah. So I will mention, since we're talking about the printing speeds again. So it says it can print up to 600 millimeters per second, which is like insanely fast compared to just like, I don't know, a few years prior where the traditional 3D printer, not a few years or whatever, anyway, where it's like, you're printing. I mean, most of the time, let me put it this way. Most of the time I print like definitely under 200 millimeters per second, especially for outside walls, things that I want to look nice. So And it just depends also on the filament and other factors as well. So they're really trying to, when they give you the print speeds, they're trying to tell you that it's like maximum capability to make it sound impressive. But my guess is if you printed at 600 millimeters per second, you would not get uh, perhaps satisfactory quality. Or you might. It depends. It depends on what you're doing. Depends on what you're making. If you just need to slap it out, that might work. But you also need to make sure your filament is able to go that fast. So that's the bottleneck sometimes with that. But that said, I'm not an expert in speed printing. So if somebody else has more experience with that, let me know. So bottom line, it seems like a good printer. I mean, it's got an enclosure. It looks like it has the ability to work with a filament system. I believe that's what it said. Um, um, pre-installed damping pads. That's nice. Nice. And it is enclosed, which can be nice. Now, I will say just one little note about an enclosed 3D printer. Um, that's great for filaments that need to be very hot or use like a really hot print bed, or if you're maybe like you're in a garage and it's like cold outside or you want to keep the dust out. So there are benefits to having an enclosed printer, but one thing to keep in mind is sometimes like in the summertime and it's already warmer in the room that you're using to print, uh, the printer could get too warm inside and then you have to have the exhaust fans running like all the time and then it's really loud, or at least not pleasantly quiet, basically. Um, so that's a little tip there for you. So because you're not going to get something for free, basically. If you have an enclosed unit, um, you sometimes it's not helpful if you're printing stuff that doesn't need an enclosure. Basically, there you go. But what I'm doing now, which is working out great, is I use a build plate that is it's the BQ uh, Cryo Grip build plate, the Frostbite. That's what I've been using to print PLA. And it's just fantastic because it takes the build plate temperatures down from like what is it? Like 65, I think like 65 degrees Celsius is like the standard for textured PEI or maybe even the smooth PEI build plates, which is what I was using for a while from Bamboo Lab because because I wanted the 3D effect plate. But anyway, the point is basically when you have those build plates that are made to print at cooler temperatures, it's just kind of overall better because then you don't have to have the fans running on your machine and all that kind of stuff. But again, that's filament dependent. It just depends on um, the kind of filament that you are using and what is required for that. Um, yeah. So Orchard. Um, Let me actually read what you're saying. He says, I see. I appreciate the advice and info. I have almost no idea about 3D printing. I'm coming from a machining background. Yeah. So it looks also, what I was trying to figure out is, can this use, it appears that it can. It says, upgrade accessory kit for multicolor printing. So you can use their multicolor um, printing for that. Um, hmm. Yeah, I would say like the enclosed units can be nice for like the reasons that I mentioned. But sometimes you just don't need them. So like potentially if you're just getting into 3D printing, maybe you want to get like a cheaper printer that is kind of more of a traditional style or it's not enclosed. I'm not actually familiar with like the Creality series, or I have, at which I don't really use anymore, but I had an Ender 3 and and a CR10, but that's old school stuff now. So I really can't speak too much to to like the new series here. And then also full disclosure, I use Bamboo Lab printers. So that is what I am most familiar with. I don't know if they're better, but I do know that Bamboo Lab, to me, it seems like kind of set the standard for sort of like ease of use and um, sort of integrating the whole process of the 3D printing, like with the whole like Maker World. They have the Maker World that's like their 3D printing model repository, and then you can download models that have a profile that works for your printer already. Now that said, Creality is basically doing the same thing, I think, with their like cloud thing. Their Creality Cloud? I think it's called Creality Cloud. Yeah, so basically people upload models and then they will have like profiles for your specific printer that you are using. So that's a really long-winded way of saying, I mean, honestly, basically there's so many good 3D printers out there now that you almost can't go wrong if you choose a brand that has had like a pretty good history, because there are a lot of 3D printing brands. Actually, well, I can't think of any specific ones, but they're that what tends to happen is there tend to be a lot of like pop-up brands, especially on the cheaper range for 3D printers that probably not worthwhile to get. And it's probably better to use your money to get something that is, I guess, I don't know, more tried and true. Um, so again, it's like, what is the difference between all of these? Right? Like, just tell me, to give me a couple sentences of like why you'd pick one or the other. I don't know. Let's look at the K1 SE. One thing I will say is, so typically when people get into 3D printing is they are the usually they're recommended, or like kind of the standard thing is like the traditional style of 3D printer, which would be like um what frame is that? They call it like the, I think the H, is this the new one? The HI series? Something like that. I think they, what don't they call that, the iframe? I'm blanking out here, but this style where you have the bed that moves, which is also why they call them bed slingers, because typically they're a lot cheaper. And I guess just as an example, I don't know that this would be a good one to go with, but potentially going with something that has a multi-filament function combo could do more for you depending on what you want to do with your printer. It could do more for you for the same price, as opposed to like the enclosed one. So this one, if you're printing with like more common materials, not specialty stuff, and you don't need an enclosure, or maybe you're keeping your printer inside, in a area where it's not going to get all dusty and stuff like that, then this might be a better option. You see, it has a bigger build plate as well, 260 by 260 by 300 millimeters. So you have a larger build area. So it really depends on what you want to do. Um, so I have the X1C and the A1, and I much prefer the style. The Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon is similar to this. It's like a box frame style where the bed only goes up and down, and then the head is what moves on the X and Y axis. So um, you get a lot less vibration because instead of the whole print bed moving back and forth, and you're able to get better quality at higher printing speeds. And I would kind of say maybe not more detail, but more detail, better detail at higher speeds. Um, so I think I answered the question that I was thinking of. Oh man. Orchard says, I hear you. I'll definitely look into the bamboo too. Those are the ones I've been looking at for a while. Just recently heard about Creality. Yeah, Creality's been around for a long time. But I haven't been familiar with their like latest offerings, which are not clones of Bamboo Lab, but very much Bamboo Lab style. And we can I think we can check those out. I think we have time to check those out. Over on Instagram, hello, things are happening over there. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to you guys too much, but welcome on the Instagram side. Glad to have you with us. We're talking about drones and 3D printing. If you have questions, especially if you're a beginner out there and you're like, what's happening? Maybe we can help you sort some of those questions out. because drones and 3D printing are super fun, but they can be extremely confusing at times. So hopefully we can get you some answers. So right now we're helping somebody on the YouTube side of things, asking a question about like what's a good beginner 3D printer basically. And so we're kind of working through that. So we were looking at the Creality and probably Bamboo Lab. He says, I want the multi-filament option bad, but living in an old farmhouse on a dirt road, I've got really bad dust issues. Okay, so yeah, that's a very good consideration. You know, if you have dust issues. Um, so I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the enclosure is definitely nice if you do have a dusty environment. There are other options like to have like an enclosure, like a separate enclosure um around the 3D printing area, which will also keep heat into the printer area, which could be good. Like typically in the wintertime, if the room is going to be like colder, when you are able to heat the whole printer and stuff, it's the printer doesn't have to sort of like work as hard to stay hot to keep the print bed hot. So there are some advantages there. Yeah. So, hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I think the good news is, like I said, 3D printers, especially from reputable brands like Creality, like Bamboo Lab, they are they're all really so good now, um, that you're not gonna, you know, you're probably gonna have a good experience and it's gonna be a good entry into it. It's just kind of a matter, like we were talking about, like a matter of the budget and then kind of what you want to do. Also, I will ask, what do you want to do with it? What do you want to like print with it, and what kind of materials do you want to print? Because that'll make a difference, uh, as well. Core XY, that's what they call it. They call that the Core XY, where you have the tool head that moves on the X and Y axis. So I prefer that. I think I I think it's just better than the bed slinger style. Um, and I think probably you're less likely to have a print fail because my thinking is if you orient it the wrong way, the print bed is going to be like going back and forth, and then you're moving the whole print. That's the big difference with the Core XY versus the, I believe it's the I frame style or the H frame, whatever it is, the bed slinger style. The difference is your entire model that you're printing on the Core XY is just going down, well, up and down, I guess, but down ever so slightly as it prints, versus the bed slinger is moving the whole model back and forth the entire time, which also is not great if you want to do like time lapses and film it and stuff like that. Uh, oh yeah, that's right. So Bamboo Lab, jumping over to Bamboo Lab. So they just dropped some big like new printers and stuff. And so I have the X1 Carbon, but I think they're discontinuing it. At least it's not available on their website here. Um, so the H2 series, it's ultimate single nozzle printer. Some of these have dual nozzles, and then some of them have like a laser cutting capability. I don't remember which is which, to be honest. So the X1 series, they have the X1E. Oh, okay. So they have the X1E. Oh, that one's only available through authorized resellers. Huh. And then they have the P series. And then so the A series is like the bed slinger style. And the, as they show here, the A1 Mini is the GOAT, or greatest of all time, of entry level 3D printers, which again, I like that they just give me a little description, tell me kind of what the deal is. So you got the A1 Mini. The A1 Mini is cool if you like really don't want to spend a lot of money and you really want to like just dip your toe into 3D printing. You can still, as far as I've seen, I don't own one of these, but you can 3D print with just the same quality as the more expensive printers, but you're going to be more limited in your build area and or build volume as well. And it's one of those things that you're probably going to outgrow faster because you're probably going to want to start printing bigger stuff or multiple things, um, and you're going to want to have a bigger build plate. The Bamboo Lab A1, I do have an A1, and it's probably what I like about the A1 is it is one of the most like I kind of feel like it's the best bang for your buck. Now, if you do want to do multi-filament printing, I don't know, like I don't have experience with the AMS Lite system, multi-filament system that they have. I have the original AMS system, which is super great. Like I really like it. It's um it's so handy because it's really a pain to have to switch do the whole filament switching thing for the A1 every time. So I have to keep that in mind. And then say, yeah, no, I guess that does automatically that makes sense. It automatically switch the filaments. But I don't know. I don't know that I would actually want to get the AMS Lite system. I'm not sure. As you can see, it's kind of awkward shape, takes up a whole bunch of space. I guess you could mount it on top. That seems kind of crazy though, because like potentially you'd have 4 kilograms riding on top of that thing, which seems like it wouldn't be good to have that like jiggling around. But anyway, but what I do like about the A1 and these style of printers is you get a full size build plate, so 256 millimeters, and you get good quality. So to me, if you got the A1, that would probably grow with you. You wouldn't outgrow it as quickly as like the A1 Mini. And then so just looking at prices right now, that's $299. Wait, is that the combo? No, that's just the A1. So the combo is $399. So kind of like we were looking at with the Creality. So that I guess just kind of sort of apples to apples here. Something that I would be looking at um, is we've got the Creality. Huh. Wow, 16 color printing. Holy smoke. Hmm. Let me see here. All right. Instagram and Facebook, welcome. And YouTube as well. Welcome. We're doing we're talking about beginner 3D printers and kind of seeing what's out there. We're comparing, right now, we're actually comparing the Bamboo Lab A1 system to the Creality HI or the High combo system. So interestingly enough, I'm just seeing this just now. So that the A1 combo is $399 currently USD, and the Creality combo system is $399. Wait, is that the combo? That is the combo. So the Creality system is $399. And what interests me, what kind of actually makes me lean more towards the Creality side, which full disclosure, I don't have any experience with the Creality HI combo. But it has a larger build volume than the A1, and it the has the Creality the basically the Creality AMS system. This guy. Can we click on that? Oh no, we can't do that. Or is that a different one? No, I don't think so. The Creality multi-filament system. I like that it's in an enclosure, and it where is it? Let's find it. Because this I actually haven't looked at it before, so that's cool. Accessories. Where is it? Is it the CFS? Is that what it's called? I don't know. But let's find out. So that actually kind of makes me lean more towards the Creality in this particular case. However, Um, yeah, yeah, that's what it was. I don't know why are they saying 16 colors. They shouldn't say 16 colors. I guess they're saying 16 colors because you can connect 4 of them to one printer, which that's crazy. That's crazy, but you know what? That would also be super useful. Potentially super confusing, but super duper useful because with Fun Fidgets, which is the business that it's have had for about a year or so. So we 3D print fidget toys and it's super fun. With making stuff for that would be actually super useful to have multiple of those because I could just do this all from the computer instead of having to switch and swap filament spools, even though there are already 4. But this way I could really do some different multicolor stuff and have a lot more options. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Of course, granted it would cost like what, 1200 like $1,500 or something uh to make that happen. So I don't know. Would it really be worth it? Maybe. Maybe it would. But what I like about the Creality system is that it's enclosed. It says moisture proof filament storage. Mm. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I don't know if they show like, do they show that you can put like, it looks like they have little spots for desiccant in there, like for some silica beads to help dry out the filament. I don't know that this is actually like a filament dryer. Anyway, but the reason why this is cool is because they're saying that it works with the bed slinger style, the Creality HI. Um, whereas the Bamboo Lab A1 has the AMS Lite system, uh, which is different from their other AMS systems that have an enclosure. I have the original AMS, um, but wait a minute, does that work with the? Um, oh, I feel like I would have found this out before. Does the AMS system work with the A1? I don't remember. Does it? Okay. And to be fair, like you can use the Bamboo Lab AMS system and hook up 4 of them at a time as well. So again, it's very much like the competition is tight, between the Bamboo Lab and Creality and not even sure what else. Gosh, what's that other brand? Prusa. Prusa, the orange one. Prusa printers. Let's see here. Oh, ding ding ding, we have another question. Um says in the UK these are around 300 to 320. Is that pounds or euros? Mark, but the Anycubic Cobra S1 is currently on sale for 360. I picked up one the other day and it's been great. And he says that's for the combo too, so you get the AMS system with the built-in dryer. Yeah, so the Anycubic, that's another brand. Let's look up Anycubic. Anycubic. I'm pretty sure they've been around for a while, so I'm pretty sure they're pretty reputable as well. I have not seen like what they've been doing lately. Um, let's see what we got over here. All right. So again, if you're just joining us, we're live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We're going to be here for about 15 more minutes or so. Uh, sure. So there we go. Anycubic. Yeah. So you kind of see, right? You kind of see that like all the different manufacturers are doing this with this style. Like they all have a 4-spool multi-filament system. They all have an enclosed printing uh print Core XY style. Like, oh, but that's, that is a good question. Is like how it's like how do you choose? What is a good 3D printer for a beginner? And that's a great question. Especially when they're all like very similar style. So you said we got Jordan over on the YouTube side said the Anycubic Cobra S1. That's the Cobra S1 Max. Cobra S1 Cambo. Let's take a look here. And they always have these cool 3D printing videos where like they just have like the coolest like studio laboratory like, and they're just like constantly, I don't know. It's fun. It's a cool vibe. But not sure if it's the most realistic, to be honest. But I mean, could do. Oh, those are sweet tires. That's cool. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying there is you buy the 3D printer, but everything else is extra. I'm not sure what is this dude doing. He's really excited about like that 3D print. Okay, cool. Anyway, let's go here. Okay, buy now because I was trying to find info about it, but Anycubic Cobra S1 combo 429 USD currently. And yeah, we're in the United States. Oh, look at that. It's a I is it iframe? I think it's iframe. It's a bed slinger with 4 spools on top. However, that looks interesting that you got 4 well, I guess that's how the other one is too. It goes directly into there. Man, stop showing me ads, man. You want me to buy this or what? All right, let's look at this one. Wait. That was 511. Okay, it just like took me away from there. All right, Anycubic Cobra S1 combo. There we go. Let's click on that. 429. I'm not sure what the Christmas bundle was, but okay. So the Cobra specification. So 250 by 250 by 250 build area. See, recommended speed is 300 millimeters per second, but it could go 600. Yeah. It's a Core XY. It has auto leveling. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think the lesson here is like if we're just going off of spec sheets and, you know, the website info, it's really hard to tell which printer to buy, right? When they're all within probably 50 to $100 um and have like similar capability, and they they look very similar size, like all this different stuff. I think probably the best thing is to just find a reputable reviewer on YouTube and watch a video. That's basically, which I realize you're on YouTube and you're asking me and I'm telling you to go to YouTube and watch a video, but that's basically it. Is you'd have to kind of just like see these in action and try them out, because there might be like little quirks, or like, oh, this one's really loud, or like, oh, this one you have to, I don't know, use a certain kind of firmware, or this one you have to like something, I don't know, and then little features. But the bottom line is, if you're a beginner, I would say don't stress about all that stuff too much. Like, get what you can get in your budget, and I would focus more on like the big factors of like, is it enclosed or not? Does it, do you want the multi-filament option or not? Uh, is it the bed slinger style, or is it the Core XY style? What kind of filament do you want to print with? Like stuff like that. And then I just would say, I don't know, maybe just get the one that looks the coolest, or whatever's most recommended, or something like that. All right, cool. I think we answered that question ad nauseum, probably, but it's fun. That's what we do here a lot of times. All right, we got some action over on the YouTube side. Welcome. Let's see here. Okay, so we got a question from Two Friends Gaming. How can we make a RC plane 4-rotor like Airbus A400. Airbus A400M using a FlySky FSI-6X. Please make a video. Okay. Um. So it sounds like the question that you're it sounds like you're asking me to make a video. I don't know if I can make a video on that, but it sounds like you're asking about using 4 motors with the FSI-6X. It's a great question. Let's see here. Let me is that let me get this here. So basically the question is going to be, how do we control 4 motors with the FlySky i6X? I think that's what you're asking. And also, let's see, he says, brother, where is your old FlySky videos? I am missing your old videos. Do you mean like actually where are they? Because like they're still up there on YouTube, as far as I know. But if you mean like why have I not made more? It's because I don't use FlySky as much anymore, and I've been like really busy with other stuff. So that's why. Let me see about this right here. Just give me a moment. Yes. Mm, Um. mm, Let me try and pull this up here. So I think I have a video showing that. Is what I'm trying to say here. All right, so let's go over to desktop cam, and then we have another question. We've got a few minutes left. We have another question from, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but on YouTube, what's the best way to get consistent work? I'm not sure what kind of work you mean exactly, so let us know more specifically what kind of work you're talking about. Consistent work. I'd say have a good attitude and work hard. That would be my general advice, and get to know people. Yeah. So right. The question was Fly Sky. So if you go to my playlist, I think you can see that playlist. Fly Sky tutorials, tips, and tricks. Oh, who's that silly guy right there? Look at that. So if we look at the list here, give me what? No. Maybe if I view full playlist. There we go. That's what I want to do. Get rid of this guy. What's this guy doing? Make it go away. Oh my gosh, go away. How do I exit out of that? Whoa, that was weird. All right. Uh-oh. Let's refresh that. My mouse is being weird, sorry. All right, so um mm, 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 mm. Oh, okay. So yeah, so Two Friends Gaming says you're not making videos on planes, just 3D printing and sometimes drones. Yes, that's correct, because that's just what I've been the most focused on lately. I do want to get back into planes, because planes are just fun, and a lot of this stuff has been kind of like fun, but kind of also like more, I don't know, work focused, like more, it's less just kind of like for pleasure and recreation. So I plan on getting back into that this year. I think it's about time. Uh, so and then he says he sees the dual motor setup, but not 4 rotors. Oh dang, maybe you're right. I did dual motors. Or 4 motors? I thought I did 4 motors. Okay, well anyway, let's check out that video. So,
hey everybody, welcome back.
We got some lag going on here. Also loud. It's weird. Okay, let me figure this out. Why it's looking like this, I'm not totally sure. Okay, that's not helpful. Can we do it like this? I can hear it, but I can't. There we go. There, I can see it.
motor setup or a receiver. We have
Okay.
another.
Okay, we're having some technical difficulties pulling up these videos, but basically, short answer is go check out this video of how to set it up for a twin aircraft, and then I believe it's going to be very similar to set it up for a basically a double twin, aka four motor aircraft. So I think the big key here, to be honest, it's been a while since, so I'm relying on this video to remind me how this works. So I had stuff with the offset, the differential thrust, that's kind of a whole other factor. Because I'd have to actually watch the video to see like what did I actually say. But I'm pretty sure that the simplest way to do it would be to wire, yes, would be to connect all four receivers to the channel 3 or whatever your throttle channel is, and I believe also take out, remove the red, usually I think the middle, uh, positive wire, positive power wire from 3 of the receivers. I guess basically so that way you're not getting like, what is the problem with that? I can't remember. I don't think I did it and it worked okay, but I'm pretty sure that technically you're supposed to do that so that you only have one receiver, one ESC actually powering your receiver. So that's the best help I can give you right now, to be honest, without it like right in front of me. Oh my gosh, it's 12:31. Um, we've got, I think we have one more question that we can answer. Okay. Two Friends Gaming. All right. So he says, how can I connect 4 motors in only one channel? That's a very good question. So the way that you would do that is using like a splitter. Uh, is that the one I'm watching right now? I think I show it, but you'd basically need to get either like purchase a pre-made 4-way splitter, to split to so that way you have one servo style connector going into the receiver, and then that would come out as 4 like female servo style connectors. So you could basically splice it together yourself. I guess I don't show that here, but it's very common to get a double. Excuse me. It's very common to get a double connector. So I guess what you could do is actually just get a servo extension. Typically, it would be like a servo extension that will split into like 2 female connectors, and then from those 2 female connectors, you could plug in each one a double splitter, if that makes sense. So I think you could do that without having to solder anything. Um, let me just look that up for you right now. Servo connector, um, uh, dual splitter, I think. Um, yeah, so it would be like these guys. So like, what's a good? I don't know. Maybe this is a good version to show. Yeah, like this one. Yeah, like this one. So there you go. It's not in stock here, but it would be like a buck 49. And you have your servo, your input to the receiver, and then you would have your wires going to your ESCs. Typically, this would be for a servo. So, like I said, you may need to cut cut the positive power wire, the middle wire, so that only one ESC is actually powering the receiver. I'm not sure if that's actually a problem with modern receivers or modern receivers or ESCs, but I'm pretty sure that's what people were telling me when I think in the comments of that video. I think that's what it was. So hopefully that will help. If not, or if you have more questions, tune in tomorrow. And We have one person on YouTube says, what kind of 3D printer would be the best recommendation in your opinion? Fantastic question. We kind of just answered that question. So if you would just roll back the stream, I don't know, probably about half an hour or so, but I have got to go. Thank you all so much for joining me and hanging out with me. It's been a just a roller coaster of emotions, highs, lows, mids, fantastic time. It's like watching an epic movie. Thanks for joining me, everybody, over on Instagram. I'm going to end the video now. See ya on Instagram and Facebook. We had like maybe one person watching. Maybe it's a ghost. I don't know. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. Bye. And last but not least, on YouTube. Everybody, okay, well, I understand we'll use 3 of them, then I will join using rubber jumper wires, or I will try using a receiver. Cool, yeah, that's what I would do. I'd give it a try. Good luck to you. Like I said, we'll be back, I think, tomorrow. I think same time, same place. We should be. But there we go. Hopefully we could help everybody. Had a good time talking about 3D printers and stuff like that. So, everybody, I will see you again very soon. Oh, and Merry Christmas, by the way. Yeah, Merry Christmas.